thank everybody for being here. If you didn't say anything, please say it, please. All right, we'll start with Charles.
Hello, my name is Sean Riley. I am the marketing outreach coordinator for Park. And if you guys have any questions, we're here. But yesterday, Park released our new network maps that will go into effect in August of 2026. So if you've had a chance to look at those on ridepark.org, and if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer those for you as well. And I have some hand sanitizers and umbrellas for you.
Yeah, I'm Major Bond from the 3rd Division, Little Lake Police Department. I cover the area from Rockford Lane south to Hardin. Any concern or questions about that?
My name is Odell Anderson. I'm Assistant Director of Code and Regulations. I have my crest team here. I have Renee, Kevin, and Ashley. Thank you.
All right, I want to say thank you all for being here today. Also, I want to say a shout out to my beautiful legislative assistant Lydia and my beautiful this lady in the back. I don't know if she's back there, but hey, first I want to give today. I just want to listen. Okay, I don't normally get out here in this area too much. I have a lot of things that are planned out here. As you see, I put this out to this meeting, the email is like, I need people, this isn't the first or the last. I appreciate you showing up, let's just have it matter, right? If you don't give me the opportunity to serve you, I can't serve you. I'm very accessible, I'm very straightforward. What you see is what you get. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not a competition. I fight for you. I don't work for nobody but you, right? So, at my meetings, I'm here for y'all. I'm here to be heard. And not only just that, I'm just organic. I'm just raw. So if y'all got something that you can get out your chest, I don't care if it's about the department. I don't care if it's about me. You ain't got to write it on the card. You got it. Y'all want to ask any of these departments anything? Let's
I live off of Chick-fil-A turns on the regular bridge. I live over there. I don't know what's happening with the apartment complex that's next to the senior homes, not the Scholar House, but the apartment complex is there. Horrendous. The kids come over and like terrorize our neighborhood.
Riverport.
Yeah, Riverport Land, and it's those apartments where it's like general or whatever. And I know in our neighborhood we have a lot of seniors and middle age, so it's like, what can we do as neighbors so that way we don't keep getting terrorized? The kids don't keep terrorizing our neighborhood and breaking in cars and all that.
The best thing to do is call 911. So, like, we don't respond unless the community asks us. Our proactive is based on data. So if you're not calling in the smallest complaint you've had, and whether it's, a car break-in or just whatever it is, if we just see you don't report it, then we don't know about it, so then our resources don't go there.
Because I mean, like, they're packs. Like, it's 15 to 20 of them walking through in the middle of the night. Like, lucky our neighborhood, we watch out for each other, so there is someone that works in the third shift. They're like, hey, they're out walking around us in groups, so we're not trying to disturb them. They're gonna get around and not do
Things like that, you should call.
Okay, and that's all. I can tell you
Yeah,
that.
because the more data we work, the very driven, the more data we got, we know what it was.
Okay.
I had the same conversation with a gentleman in another district not long ago. They just weren't calling.
Okay, don't worry, I'll bring you up. We will, because I mean, like.
Burn it up, we save all that data.
Yeah, because they walk straight up in the driveway, checking cars and everything. Like, everybody got cameras. I'm trying to get everybody to turn their porch light on so they're at least light up the neighborhood. But we tell them, you keep on, you come to our neighborhood, you're gonna get a body bag. And your mama knows you over it.
So I will say this. We have been working with LDG. LDG are the property the owners. I think it's Sodexo is the management company. Hey. That's Miss Tia Bowman and her husband. She's over the land bank. Well, she's heard, I got any questions, you know, but she's my sister. She's not her work. So LDG owns that property. So I just met with LDG yesterday. And a lot of those seniors, when you say, I know that is supposed to be a senior building, but it's senior and disabled, right? So that was a concern for me, because you got a lot of people that's coming in, coming out. I sit out there at night and watch them like I was the police. You know, I've done all of that because, you know, the police are second responders, honestly. You know, they show up, but you gotta make the phone call. So when I sat out there, and sometimes right in that area, they share. Sometimes if they got something going on, I think when the second district comes. So after just sitting out there, a lot of times, you know, I just said y'all can be raw and very authentic in my meetings, right? You would have thought that down the Park Hill, just being honest, as much traffic that it was, right? They do have security there. They got security now. So it's supposed to have slowed down, and if the security see gas, they got it lit up. So I've been on them, right? And I want to say a couple of years ago, we had a community meeting out at Riverport, and we had a lot of the community members to say, look, these young kids is gonna be found dead in our backyards. They better stop playing. So I think it was a fence, you know, so we are aware of what is going on out there. So you got the Scholar House that's over here on this side. A lot of that traffic that's coming through those yards, you know, like it's from there. They coming over and checking the seniors' cars. I don't have no solution for these teams. You know, JCYC. I'm just gonna keep it real with you. I don't have a solution. I don't think the police got a solution. Because at the end of the day, even if the police pull up because they done come over and check your doors, y'all got it on camera, where they going? Because they ain't even going to a dirt county unless they done really did something that was, you know, that did some bodily harm, right? So I don't really think, man, protect yourself at all means. Somebody come in your yard, ain't supposed to be, protect yourself, protect your family by all means until, you know, the state and the city can get some done with these kids.
If I may,
Yes,
I will say that Councilwoman Hawkins just championed and sponsored a piece of legislation with Councilman Joseph and Councilman Roger that is urging the governor and the chair to open and complete the construction and renovation of JCYC as soon as possible. And so those are little things within Councilwoman Hawkins' purview that she is working on to kind of combat the
I think one thing they have a security gate that's only supposed to be open when there's an emergency, but they've broken the door off the building, like a gate. The big gate's closed, but the door, they didn't broke it off, it's wide open, so they're coming to go with your food.
I'm taking
And I can
note
take
of
a
things
picture.
because
I can take a
the
picture.
last time, because the last time that you sent a complaint to our office about it, we escalated it to the lead ownership, letting them know what's going on. They said that they're aware and trying to, work with LMPD to make people told that. So definitely gonna follow up about that security gate as well. Because if it's broken and they're coming through that, they need to fix it.
Okay, thank you.
But we got, we got you. Okay, but we can't control it.
No, we understand, I just wanna make sure like, we're patrolling, that you know about it and what's going on. If they're doing it there, they're doing it in other areas. We're gonna get one there and then
You know what?
what?
I may send some community violence prevention guys out there, out your way to talk to you, see. Maybe they can kind of go in their apartments and sit out there and just kind of see what's going on.
Okay.
Okay, we'll try to see if we can do it.
I have a question. I'm sorry, I have a question.
can't rap, you can't look.
You can, okay, I really have a loud voice, I hate these things. But, you know the turnoff right in Greenbelt and Dover, right there. I believe there needs to be a turn lane. I used to live there, listen, and they will come up behind you, almost hit you in there.
Yep.
Swerve over. I mean, it could just be that third turn
Yeah.
lane.
Listen, I'm right there with you. We've already fought that fight. It's the state. I don't have any control over that part, but we can take the concern again and try to fight it again.
So, yeah, to exactly what Councilwoman Hawkins is saying, that concern was brought to us on a constituent that actually lives on Dover Road. Greenbelt is a state road, so we have no jurisdiction over it. That's your state representatives, your senate, things like that. But for Dover, it's actually outside of urban services. So any taxpayer dollars cannot go towards putting things in that particular area because it's outside of the city. We tried to put, I think it was lights, street
You try to put lights,
and
you try to
some
put sidewalk,
speed
yep,
bumps
speed
out
bumps,
there. And
sidewalk.
the county attorney's office was able to shut us down on that notion, saying that we couldn't spend the taxpayer dollars on that because it was outside the city. So I do apologize, but you can absolutely revisit that. There's no harm in revisiting, like Councilwoman Hawkins said. But when it comes to Greenbelt, we have a state road, that's your state rep. If you're not sure who that is, let me know, and I can absolutely provide you that information. And then about Dover, yeah.
Well, Dover, we know they don't even really have sidewalks.
City.
They don't even have sidewalks. So we just know that the set of lenses that you're looking in, we've already addressed it. We're gonna try it again, but we have to stay in the preview of our county attorney. So it's kind of some things, if it's in my control, I can try to address it, but when it's not, I just gotta, be honest with you and say, we can't do it. But we're gonna, we'll get you in, I'm not, like I told y'all from the jump, I'm not gonna lie to you. If it's something I got control of, if it's something I can fight, I'm gonna fight, but if it's not, but I'm gonna give you the tools that you need to call your state representative, and I'll work with them to see what we can do. Hold on, she said you said you had a question, and then you have to.
No, that's it.
Oh, okay, you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe that's it.
Are you subscribed to our newsletter? We need to set up. Get y'all set up.
Okay, I also live next door, mine's ours, rural Alpharetta. And it's a senior community, by the way. Similar to set up with rural management, it's a separate company only, but still. Just want to know, first of all, thank you for being out here and reaching out to this part of the community, because we need more out there. And then let's say it's backing up on that. Why does the county attorney first of all say that we can't put the sidewalk, we can't spend money in your district for the whole county, because since we're a merged government, why does it all have to go just to urban citizens? What are the county, the taxes of the county residents, the rest of the county outside of the USC, what are their taxes going for if it isn't just going for what's in the urban services district and, because I know some parts of, like out in the east end, so some of those places are getting sidewalks and they're outside of this, so why can't we get sidewalks over here? Why, I was wondering about that.
I don't want to, if I don't know, I'm gonna tell you I don't know. I can pose that question, but I think probably out in the east end part of town, they more probably help around $50 of people that would do that. And I'm gonna be quite honest with you, it's a lot of things with the county attorney's office that goes through them that I think is foolish, that I don't always agree with. But they are put in those spaces to protect us. And sometimes, I feel like they're protecting us. Sometimes I just feel like that they fool us, right?
Exactly.
And it's just what it is. So we will definitely get you a response, and we can email them and definitely forward whatever their response is, just so you know flat out exactly, what they say. I can get you an answer.
Yeah, because, I understand that, the urban services, it has probably greater expenses than these things, but the county does too, and if we're a merged government, we should be doing things for all the county, not just certain parts. Related to that, I was going to bring up TARP. Thank you, I like the new plan, and thank you for keeping service out this way, at least for now. Because when they were drafting that enhanced plan, they were basically going to cut off service at Rockford Lane, and nothing would count this sort of way. But they've extended it. What's used to be called the 19, it'll be, I think, the 3 is going to go out this way. So that's good, appreciate that. But more long term, as you all said, that you all need more funding for TARP in the long term to be able to implement the growth plan and all of that. And we were just wondering, what avenues do we have to get more funding? We were thinking, possibly maybe, for example, a referendum like they did in 1974, a little past one, to get, an occupational tax, assessed for TARP to be funded. And could we do another one of those, like a small increase to get funding for TARP? Could we not do that? The state law, there is in state law, chapter, there is 96A, there is sections that says that, we could, referendum can put a referendum on the ballot to let the people vote for it. And I believe from TARP's own survey stuff and things that, the people and the stakeholders in the local sector want to support, no funding for TARP through a referendum if they can do it. Would you all be willing to, advocate for that and try to get the council to put that on the ballot at some point?
Yeah, Ms. Prince is right here. I mean, we already know everything, we already know how my area was affected. I think I'm totally with you. Even though I don't ride TARP, I don't know if one day I might have to, right? So, I put myself every day in, the people from the communities. I jump in door, and I'm looking at something, I always jump in doors first, right? I never know, I've been there before, and I don't never know when I gotta go back, right? I don't never know when I'm gonna ride TARP. Right. So I definitely support TARP, but let me tell you, with anything that has to do with metro government, that these things, it takes 14 votes.
True.
Right? And even with 14 votes, I really feel like that our mayor should have done that in his budget, honestly.
True.
He should have made that happen, because not only are you all my constituents, you all are his constituents. Right. So I think that if I could give TARP my little budget ain't nothing. Right? I would. But even my little budget ain't gonna do nothing for the issues that TARP has and the money that TARP is gonna need to really thrive. And one of y'all can pick that one. As far as the fight that we've been having. So I'm fighting with you, I'm on your side.
That's why I was thinking, just one thing, that's why I was suggesting, instead of trying to find money in the budgets to do it that way, maybe a referendum and let it be, and if the people would agree to raise the occupation tax, another 0.2 to 0.4%, like it did before. If that was going down and they would do it, that would give TARP a dedicated source of revenue that the company wouldn't have to worry about trying to find money in their budget for.
Okay, if I'm not mistaken, when I met with Ms. Brooks the last time, I think Andy Owen was supposed to lead that. I was gonna sponsor or something, so I don't know what they said, right now, and I don't even know, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know how everybody in the room is gonna feel about taxes being raised. So that's a whole nother meeting. Because what if I go in, if I say, well, okay, you got TARP, you want TARP, but then I'm not gonna be able to make everybody happy. So it's either we get TARP on the road, possibly, and we raise taxes, or we don't raise taxes, but taxes probably don't go up anyway. But either way it goes, it's gonna have to be something that I'm gonna have to talk about with multiple meetings.
Right.
Because if there's a tax increase, I don't want the tax increase to be on my watch, especially right now. I want to be an agreement for everybody, right?
Exactly.
Because it's gonna affect everybody, right?
Exactly. But that's why I was saying, maybe a referendum, let the people decide.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about, maybe something like that.
I can take a suggestion back.
Sorry, excuse me, Max.
I think, because I think some of my colleagues, and I'll say the Republicans, especially like Dan Sanders, I think he was against, TARP a little bit because Kevin Spranger, TARP don't go in the area.
Because they don't have the funding to do it.
But I mean, that's what they were saying, trucking and come in my area, you know, and we have constituents out there that have that need too. So, you know, so I fought with other constituents of mine, because they feel like, nope, you support them because they don't even come out here. So I can't give you an answer for them. So, and guess what? They probably know why Tarks didn't go out there or whatever, but like I said, I'd rather just be honest with you than sit here and tell you a lie, and I'm not gonna do that. But, you know, whatever, within my reason, you know, I can take your suggestions back and, be your vessel, be your voice, to try to, and I have thus far, you know that, for the music, right?
And that's fine, because if it benefited everybody, if, you know, if we work the tax and do it, we could just convince enough people to realize that and do it. But anyway, as long as you're advocating for what
Yeah, talk, all day long.
we appreciate it.
But I want them to, because I feel like y'all should know, public, you know, like, what, and how the people feel, because you got 14 people that gotta vote, right? And then you also have the mayor, right? The mayor's budget comes over to Metro Council.
That's right.
When he does his budget, it comes to us, we can take stuff out, we can put stuff in, we can do whatever we want to do with his budget, but there's certain things that has to stay. Right? But there's some things, if we feel like we need to lower the amount, make more, whatever that looks like. But I am not the guru of this fight. I mean, these people right here, that they've been fighting to as well. So I'm gonna give them the floor, let them talk a little bit about where we at with that, and kind of what we learned. I think she's been one of the biggest, Lillian has one of the biggest champions for trying to save talk.
Hello, everyone. I'm Lillian Prince, president of business agent, community president of the Residential Workers at Target. And this is definitely a bigger conversation that has been going on for a long time. And so one of the efforts as far as improving Target and making Target more accessible, reliable, and putting it out there that it is the best choice of option. Yes, we have been doing this fight for a long time as far as that, and it takes constituents like you to make that happen. But in the meantime, it's not a quick fix, and it's not a quick answer, but one of the ways to start is by supporting the public transition. Next, I want to talk about the CARD 2025, the redesign, the changes that we have going on now. And then by improving that service, we're hoping that more people will make that their choice in transportation. We don't want you to ride a car because you have to. We want you to choose that option as transportation.
Thank you much. Yeah, I really can't speak to the referendum, but what I can say is the new card network that's going to go into place next August, that represents a 12% reduction in service from where we are today. And for that network, you know, for TARC to continue to run that network, we need funding in place by 2030, additional funding, or by, at that time, we'll have to make other, you know, decisions in terms of what to do with the TARC network. But so, you know, the new networks are in place next year, 12% reduction in service, and then, you know, continue running that network. We're going to have to find funding by 2030 to keep that network. So something is going to have to be done at, you know, some point.
It's not just a local conversation, that is a state conversation. So anytime you have an option to support that, vote on that, we ask that you do so. But right now, we want to get the information of the upcoming changes because we are trying to service every neighborhood. I actually live in a neighborhood to where the park is not accessible to me. And so with this plan here, it at least services schools and it at least somewhat touches my area a little bit better. So our system has not changed for, 45 years? 45 years. And so imagine having something what you did as a kid and you take it into now. So look for the information, ask questions, and see how TARC can improve for you. So not just you use it, but everybody can use that. And we have handouts here to kind of explain some of the changes. And yes, I'm in Frankfurt, I'm at changes, come up here and ask questions, and so we can show you how it is more accessible to you and more reliable, and it is the best option.
Okay. Okay, so,
I did have one thing on a different subject here. This time, talk about the, dealing with the violence in the neighborhoods and stuff. I'm actually also working with the, St. Ed's Anti-Violence Coalition, or the Office of Prevention. And what we're looking to do now this year is to expand what we're doing and trying to reach those kids and give them things to do. Because a lot of what we found out those things are, if we give them things to do, get them involved in activities and mentoring somewhat, that, you know, they will be as likely to get in trouble and doing things that, you know, stealing, whatever. But so what we've done is we've taken the area, we're sort of breaking it, we broke it into 3 areas. What's the traditional thing that is, one is more over like Lake Greenland part, and then the southern part of it, which is down by River Landings and out this way. We're bringing this, what we're planning on doing is now like maybe have events for each little sections, like once a month over the year, and see and do what we do. And we're also like more people to start showing up at those monthly meetings, so plan those and be involved. And if we can get people to come up, it's on 4th Tuesdays at 2:30 in the afternoon at Highland Park Missionary Baptist Church over on Shanks Lane, Thursday night Shanks Lane. That's where the monthly meetings are. Anybody wants to come there, we would like to have more things.
okay, I got a question for you. So you said OVP, right?
OVP is, OVP runs those, in all kinds of different areas. And we want out there, yes, out here.
Oh, okay. So where y'all get the kids? Where y'all get the kids from?
One of the members of the church actually, the kids, we have, the 2 of the people that are in the chain, they have organizations. One, I think, actually lives at Riverport Landings, and we're trying to work with things for the kids. They're even having 1 monthly meeting this summer over at Riverport Landings for them. And then we had, and another woman, I believe, has, I forget the name of her organization, but she has a group, and they're planning, like, for example, like a little mini camp out type thing, which would be involved in.
So
They're doing a number of things, and we'd like to get more people involved in.
Right. So Officers Out of Prevention, I think they changed their name from Office of Safety Every Neighborhood to OVP. But for me and my standpoint, I'm gonna be, totally be as raw as I possibly can. You know, they gonna pick kids just from whatever neighborhood. Like for me, a true impact is you get kids from that courthouse. Nobody wants to deal with ours. They playing around, they're taking taxpayers' dollars, and I say they want their meetings, and I tell them. For me, I always ask OVP employees, directors, where are you all getting these kids from? Where are you getting your caseloads? Well, they go and find them, which means that if they go finding them, they can go find this kid, this kid, that nephew. Nobody's doing any investigation to find out where these kids is coming from. And to me, that's job security, right? I'm gonna have a caseload of 10 kids that I know are really, who ain't gonna give me no trouble, and who's policing that? Nobody, right? So for me, I really have true concern about office violence prevention. Office, I really do, and what they're doing. I'm really sick of departments pulling up and feeding us. And when I say us, I mean our culture, right? Food ain't gonna get it no more. We got people that are dying every day all over the entire city, right? It's time for this city to really get serious. We can't keep on waiting on LMPD to show up. We need to police our own neighborhoods, right? So I believe in empowering the community, right? Because it used to be years ago when you see little Johnny, his grandmama lived down the street, you correct little Johnny. Nowadays you can't do that. Or nowadays people's too scared to do that. I have seniors that are truly scared to sit on their porch. You know, so Office of Violence Prevention to me is a joke. It's just my opinion. I believe in empowering the community and giving the money back to the community. You know, so they can be accountable. Because the first thing they say is they call 911 and how they didn't show up quick enough, right? nobody has a contract, nobody's talking, you know, they wanna talk about our judges and they don't give kids enough time. You know, for me, it's not enough experienced people sitting in these spaces that really wanna deal with high risk. They don't even have a clue on really what's going on. Port Duval has a gang, Market Street has a gang. It's a lot, and when I say gangs, I'm not talking about blue and red. I'm talking about neighborhoods, right? So feeding our culture is not gonna, you know, be a solution for what's going on out here. These kids are packing guns. They're not approachable, right? And us sitting around just steadily keep meeting, keep talking, it ain't getting no more, right? So I'm all about real solutions, boots on the ground. So that I have real big concerns about, you know, these meetings that they have, but I can show up for them.
What we're talking about doing is, like I said, not just want more people involved, not just at the meetings, but we're talking about, like I said, we've got the area, we're breaking like 3 sections, and we want to actually canvass those areas, find out from the people in those areas and where the kids are, what they're doing, what they're not doing, what do they need to keep the kids from getting into those things, you know, what programs do they need, what kind of training or whatever, what do they need to, you know, find out what they actually needed, and then start doing programs and doing things that's actually going to reach those kids in those neighborhoods so that they're not good and not just meeting about it and talking, and that we actually want to get to
Right.
there. That's what we're trying to do.
Right, so I guess my next question is, and I'm very intentional and passionate about that type of work. So, you know, when you do those things, right, you really have to be cautious when you go in these neighborhoods and you just
Hey, I know you're watching the live stream right now, but I want to take a moment to tell you to check out this new book right here over my shoulder. Believe me, it'll be worth it.
who has life experience on how to be very impactful in these areas. You know, those are a lot of the people that I'm really trying to work with to help all these areas, right? Because what you've never experienced, right? You could go walk through Park Hill and address in a housing project and address a group of kids from a gang. You know, right, exactly. Right, exactly. Right. So I never want people who don't have those life experiences to put themselves in those spaces, right? I don't. So I'm real cautious about people that just take jobs, and I know you're not, under departments like OVP, and really don't have no background about this, because as I'm gonna keep saying, you know, the people are down every day, right? And they're gonna keep down until, you know, us as a culture take our communities back and to get serious about what's going on in our city. And for me, OVP wanna just pull up and feed black people, and that ain't gonna work, right?
No.
Crime is everywhere. It's in the East End. They just don't talk about it as much. It's out here in PRP, you know, but predominantly it's in the West End. It's horrible. Every day somebody's getting killed. But it's really everywhere, right? But if the entire city start forming HOAs, neighborhood associations, and being real intentional about the areas that they live in, you know, tapping into, I know LMPD has a system to where they can tap into businesses, you know, when things go on. You know, if most, you know, people, they don't even want to give, you know, LMPD, they bring cameras. They don't want to give the detectives, they bring cameras. They don't even want to do it. As soon as I even had a detective say, well, Tammy, do you think you can go, you know, get me this ring camera? No, I ain't getting in that. If you ain't working with LMPD or even working with me, you're part of the problem. It's either you're going to be a part of the solution or you the problem, right? So you can't be a fence straddler, you know, either we got to help them solve crimes, we got to help them get, you know, or it's got to be somebody that you can trust, you know, and you know, there's nowhere for these kids to go. So they feel like that they know that they can get away with doing whatever they want to do right now, and they ain't going nowhere but home on the watch, or if they get caught with a gun or whatever, take the gun and go home. You know, so it's gonna take a lot of time. It's gonna take a lot of us to come together as a city to find, and one solution just is not going to help everybody. It has to be multiple solutions. You have to really dig deep into a kid's life in order for you to find out why they're acting out. We don't know if they got domestic violence going on in their home. We don't know if their lights is cut off. Most kids nowadays, they don't even have the opportunity to be a kid. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of the youth, you know, they wear problems and the weight of the world on their shoulders. That's why they can't go to school and get a good education. Right? So I'm very passionate about, I can talk all day about that. I really can.
But I would say that's what we want to do.
Okay, but I'll show up. I don't know how productive I'm gonna be, but I'm gonna show up to that meeting. I'll be there right there.
Tuesday of the month.
She got, yeah, we put them out there for them, but I just don't wanna go and be a negative Nancy. I don't wanna be negative Nancy. Ma'am, do you have any concerns? You got anything? Okay, all right. Mr. Do y'all, Miss Bowles, Miss Bowles, y'all got any concerns? Did y'all neighborhood that I need to, you know, come on, let's beat up Tammy Day. You know, what's going on over in y'all's neighborhood? Y'all, you know, y'all have any youth or what? Everything, are y'all getting police surveillance or do the police ride through there? Y'all don't need them?
Block is pretty much no problem.
Hey, it's always a good buster. Okay.
Our flood wall problem that you're talking about.
Yes.
The dirt bike.
Oh, yeah, that's how I'm at, yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, you're here to talk about the dirt bikes, and flood walls, and all of that.
So for those of you who live around the flood walls, it's been a problem. I live in the 3rd division, which is right off Green Road. I live out here in this community too, and it's a problem for me as well. Unfortunately, there's not a lot we can do as far as enforcement because if they clean from us, we can't chase them. About a year and a half ago, I went to full Metro Council asking for the ordinance to be changed where we can treat it as if like the drag racing ordinance to be applied to them, which was passed. So if we do catch it, we can't seize the vehicle for 6 months. The problem is catching it. So we're currently looking at the drone technology and some other things to try to identify and locate them. This is something that may end up taking a larger task force, maybe a citywide task force. That's something I'm going to try to push when we get the manpower. We don't have the manpower to do something like that, but we have the highest recruiting number we've had in decades. So let's get but as far as right now, it's very difficult. I do run details, ATV details, a couple times a month, but like I said, when they run, they're gone. We can't chase them. So currently, it's a identify who the target is. It takes an investigation. It takes time to get that kind of problem call on somebody to either seize the property or arrest them. So it's a work in progress. We just need more resources. And currently, you can't chase them. So they run every time.
Thank you so much for your talking.
It is, but it is a problem I'm very aware of and very effective.
You two in the back.
I guess I say so. This is my first time being in this area. I just like to feedback off of the violence of the youth. Like what you said before, it's a lot going on inside of the homes that's making kids act up. But when I grew up, we had like Boys and Girls Club, we had like after school activities, we had stuff for the youth during the summer, after school, and I'm wondering if something like that will come up in some type of meetings. I know in Baltimore, 60% of youth crimes like went down, and they had different ways, and it took years for them to went down, but the violence of the youth in Baltimore went down. And I'm curious on if something that we can implement for the youth to have something for them to like feel comfortable and like talking to somebody, or just figuring out like a better solution, because JCYC is like some type of solution, but a lot of kids doesn't need that. A lot of kids is not bad. A lot of kids is not like being evil. It's just what they live in and the environment and stuff. So I'm just curious on how we can put money into the youth so they can see like there's other ways to be productive in the summer instead of being like violent.
I can't when they're 4 or 5 years old.
I can talk to you a little bit. So LMPD is working closely with the Office of Violence Prevention. We do referrals to them when we find someone who meets a certain criteria. They have their limit set at 14 to 21 with their age group. That's been lowered, unfortunately. The burden we live in now is lower than 12 years old. And some lower age too than that. So those referrals come directly. A lot of that comes directly from the record. And we also are implementing TBI. We started that, which is group violence interruption. So there is a group that is ran outside of LMPD, we're highly involved in, that reaches out to the youth that you're talking about. When we see them as like an at-risk team, we are reaching out to them. We are trying to get in their homes. We are trying to provide resources, and obviously violence prevention is doing that as well. We're working close to identify those and get in their homes before they get too far out of control. Some of these kids we can't get to now. We know that 15, 16 years old, they're invested so much into that culture that there's nothing we can do. We need to we're starting to move that age down to region up.
So what about, I don't know too much about money-wise in the city, but like all my children, I used to go there all the time when I was little. I know stuff is not affordable now, but something for the youth to have like a hangout spot for everybody to feel comfortable, be friends with. And I know sometimes that can't happen, but it seems like this community and Louisville in general is like kind of breaking down and giving up on the youth, and I don't like seeing that at all. It's not a lot of resources that I see.
Well, I can agree with you on that. A couple of things. So I think, you know, and I agree and I disagree respectfully, right? So I have to disagree respectfully with my officer here, because when I talk to OPP, they said they can't talk to police because then they become rats, right? So that's been one of my biggest issues. If you're not talking to police, then has anything been solved, right? I would prefer ODP had a direct line of communication with the kids that are in trouble already. The first time they go to court, boom, you gotta get in this program. We don't have that. So when you talk about funding, there is millions of dollars out there, millions of grants, millions of federal dollars, right? One of the biggest concerns that I have is, you know, the city just gave last year the Goodwill $1 million. They gave VOA $1 million, and I've been talking about this. They're probably tired of talking about it. And they're in a contract with the city, right? So the contract that the city has with these entities, they can only go in certain areas, right? But it's for case management, right? None of that funding is used for really programming. So it's like you going in these areas. Esquire Alley is not one, right? That's where we've had a couple of homicides and stuff. And none of the really, truly high crime areas are in this contract. So what I've asked Reno with Goodwill, and Jennifer with BOA is to go back to the administration and ask them to change that contract. So, I don't know, that's one step. The Boys and Girls Club, definitely phenomenal. But I wanna be, I said it when the meeting first started, I'm gonna be honest with you. At the end of the day, I work for them. I don't work for the administration, I don't work for the director, I don't work for taxpayers' dollars should really go to a lot of things outside of case management, right? But there's a lot of people in those spaces that are not really familiar, they're good with data, they're good with money, they're good with all of those things, but what they don't have is those lived experiences, right? To really be able to tap in to give the proper tools that this city needs to help our youth, right? And the minute that they get somebody with that set of lenses is the minute that they can change, right? The money's there. One thing I learned about the city, they put money where they want to put it. It's what it is. A council person can put money where they want to put it in. Every year, we get, so many asks, and we put money where we want to put it in. And I want to say that the Boys and Girls Club, nobody wants to go after those kids that you're talking about. Nobody wants to deal with it. They just don't. It takes a really special person or somebody who is a second chancer, or somebody who has struggled. A lot of people in those departments have lived with white picket fences. Period. They don't know what to do, but they have the resume of sitting in those roles. And in order for this city to change, you have to help people with lived experience. Right. It's just what it's gonna take. If they want to take that and run with it, they can. If they don't, I can't fight the whole battle, but I've already said that to the administration. I've already said that to OPP. I am a second chancer. I've lived that life. There is nothing that nobody who has not experienced struggle can tell me. Right? So I understand when you say that I've been dealing with Little League football in these parks, and when you can look at a kid that comes to a park every day, right? The little Eli kid that his father threw him down the steps, right? He came to Algonquin every day with a bowl of noodles. Good kid, 5 years old. But if you're not into the parents to see if you're not getting into their lives to see what's going on, the parent may be going through something, right? But that kid came to Algonquin every day with a bowl of noodles. So when it said that he fell down the steps, but then come to find out that his father threw him down the steps, it's just heartbreaking, right? And we're not going to be able to save everything, right? But it's about getting into these kids' lives, seeing what's going on, talking to them, and not always thinking that, they just beg, or are they just acting out? You really have to dig. If somebody didn't put their hands on me, at a young age and grab me back and take a hold of me, if I didn't go through and take the steps of life and get in trouble, I wouldn't know what it takes to get a hold to these youth now. A lot of people, they just don't understand the culture, and guess what? They not gonna put their lives on the line to take a risk to even get it. They just not. So until, we step up, it's gonna take a village, right? The money, if there's programs out there that people feel like will work, I will invest in it. I will talk to the mayor, I will ask him to invest. Because you can't help one entity trying to save the whole city. It's gonna take us collectively together as a city to work together for different things to be able to save the city. But whatever tools or whatever things that you have that, that impacted you when you was a youth, I'm willing to, to take any information and different tools that you have that would help be a game changer for this city, because that's what it is. I'm sorry, hold on, Tia.
No, I was just wondering, I know that like when we increase housing to an area, I always think about that, like when there's housing increase in an area, specifically this area. And, you know, I know that traffic studies are done, and, you know, even JCPS will add a school if, you know, the kids in the area. I'm just wondering like why there is nothing for communities. Like, I mean, there's no community center around this way. And it just seems like, you know, when you talk about those resources that we don't have, it just seems like there should be either something new to kind of go with the change of a community, of population growth, to kind of add that, to already have that in the books. Like, if it's giving this much of an increase in the area, what are we doing with this out of time? Is it a split playtime?
You were spot on right there. But Riverport Landing, I believe when my predecessor, Jessica Green, was in this space, Riverport Landing was supposed to be a community center. It was supposed to be a community center. Right? And for somehow or another, it went to development or apartment. But it was supposed to be a community center right there. And when I talked to Ms. Green, that's what she told me, because when I first got in the seat, I was like, hey, what's up with this apartment complex? And she was like, that was supposed to be a community center. So I'm for you. If you can find us some land, find us some land down there, and I'll probably
gonna need to be clean, we can go out in front of these.
listen.
Lease land name for it.
The Walmart right out here. It's been there for 3 years.
I think we've seen something for that to the mayor's office.
Yeah, we need something, yeah, you put a community center there, you put all kinds of stuff there.
Yeah, and I don't know if anybody has seen, but, somebody goes through their dumps on a regular. Right, they go out there on a regular, couches, everything, just going through that chute where you go through Walmart, they just dump stuff. Then out on the back of they just dump stuff, so I'm on top of that too.
And they're putting that great student academies that are out there all.
No,
Now, I will say this, Bezos Academy, I was just out there yesterday, they're gonna be prepping their teachers up, and they're not gonna start, I guess, enrolling until, I guess, 26, but they will be open soon. One of the biggest concerns that a lot of the constituents in their head was, traffic light. When people's coming out, of what is that, the Family Scholar House and the Riverport, right there, there's no light. So it's like they're speeding right in the traffic. Yeah. So I think they did a speed hump there, and I believe LGG is really trying to work, with the state to get a light right there, because that's really dangerous. Yeah, all right. Well, I think somebody did try to come down the Rabbit Bus, and they said it was, coming down, it wasn't a sidewalk, they put a sidewalk there now. So I think they got hit or something. So I want you all to know that, there are some apartments, another phase that they get ready to open on Lee's Lane. It is a line of apartments over there. I've talked with, LDG. Also, LDG is going to be doing 63 houses. But, we talked to Jefferson County Public Schools because I was concerned, Lee's Lane, there's gonna be a lot of backed up traffic. A lot of backed up traffic. And the school already is horrible with, yeah, right. So I'm not quite sure what that's gonna look like, but we've been trying to get in front of it, and really, but we can't control it, because it's coming.
I've been working with the Public Works Department, Councilwoman Hawkins. Our office has been working with Public Works and Assets for the last year and a half now, because Lee's Lane has a bunch of traffic and there's only one sidewalk on one side of the street, as you all know. So anytime there's new development or construction over there, like the new apartments and eventually going to be single-family homes, usually they rip that sidewalk up. And then we have to ask and advocate and urge the developers to put a crossing guard in place so the children that are getting off the bus can walk across safely with the traffic. So we got a quote today from Public Works. There is money already allocated towards a new sidewalk being installed on the other side of Leaf Lane that does not currently have one. So that is something that your council person is working on. So we have some different photos and things like that we're gonna try to put in the newsletter to get you guys feedback and things like that. But from the different conversations that we've heard from different constituents, especially those that live on Lee's Lane or their children attend farms there or anything like that, has advocated for that sidewalk. So I just wanted to know, is that something that you guys want to see?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And the more sidewalks, the better in all districts.
And I will say this, I don't need nobody, pulling up my, CIF funds, cause I tell y'all what I got in there. No, real talk. Because I do have a lot of money there, but it's already committed to get sidewalks, speed humps, and stuff like that. They just haven't took that. Like, and it's public information. I just like to be fully transparent. Like, oh my gosh, yeah, I was money to them. We had a list of sidewalks, a list of speed humps, that even precedes me, right? So it's often that, and I've been really fighting for this, the city only has, one contract that does speed humps. And, the speed humps that was already there before I even got there still aren't doing it. So I always tell people, if you put in for a speed hump, it's gonna take you 2 to 5 years to get it. And a lot of times, like, if I'm pulling up and I'm talking to a constituent, they're like, thank you so much for that speed hump you got me. And I'm like, sweetie, I didn't get you there. That was just the brief 4 years ago that's just now getting put there. Right? So I don't want you all to feel like, we asked for a speed hump and we didn't get it. No, as long as Public Works does a study, and it's a need, I'm gonna pay for it, right? But it is the process of metro government that comes on top of it. It's slow, and we don't got one contract. So I've been really advocating to try to get more contractors, because when you have one contractor that is doing the entire city, that's a lot. So, and it's a list, and you just add it to the list. And the list still kind of precedes me.
Definitely does. Councilwoman Hawkins just paid in the fiscal year 26 budget for $119,000 for the speed hump. So she funded that, and we'll see how it comes over there. That was passed, July 1st. So that was straight to Public Works, so it's just a matter of when they do that. But the funding's already next week. The next goal is getting necessary sidewalks that are rated, out of the fives and hazards, throughout the street on the pavement as well. So that should be coming in the next fiscal year, so these are all things that are coming down the pipeline. Just because you haven't seen it doesn't mean it's not coming. We pay for it, it's just a matter of, like I said, that one contractor.
And is there anything more we can do, first of all, to get more contractors, get the stuff to do?
I'm telling you, that's outside our mayor's office.
Or what?
Yeah, I will call the mayor's office. I will call them. I can't control their job. I don't have no jurisdiction to tell them. I have told them, but I don't.
Someone's got to push the mayor to get to it.
Yeah, well, y'all, you got it.
Yeah.
We will
We need to figure out how to do that.
You only got one person doing it, that's the procurement. So, I'm gonna call you later about it.
And the, Public Works, I think was supposed to be here today. Yeah, but, unfortunately, Jennifer Carter
in these positions throughout the government to get more things to change. How do we get these people, how do we get people with lived experiences,
I'm
and various things to do? How do we do that?
I'm working on a community balance prevention
Yeah.
and intervention.
And I was that one.
I'm working on that now, because if taxpayers' dollars can go to fund the Goodwill, who has absolutely no experience, I love Goodwill, I love everything that they do, and if they can give $1 million to DOA, you know, who never done this work, I'm sure that they can actually give it to an entity, you understand what I'm saying, that can be impacted and who has the most. Anyone else?
I have something. So on Rockford, do you know if they've been talking about like sidewalks or better sidewalks, should I say? Because like half of Rockford has sidewalks, the other half doesn't, and then there's also only one stoplight, so traffic gets really bad, especially with like Western there, and then you have like another school in the cut, so it gets like really backed up. Do you know if that's in the works?
Yes, ma'am. Let me look up. I don't think that that's my district.
It's no.
I think that should be Parish Rights District.
And the city of Charlotte.
Yeah, and so the city of Shapley and should be Parish Rights. If you want me to come over and, you know, snoop my nose around the wheel, I can get beat up now people's districts. They won't be out there.
If you need the phone numbers for the council person, I can provide that for you. If you feel more comfortable contacting our office, I can always send that communication to their office for them to give you a call or whatever that looks like. So we can definitely help advocate for you.
Okay.
Yeah, just tell us and we'll get you to the meeting.
Please don't tell us.
I will if you need to. But yeah, that's not my district, but I do agree with what you're saying.
And I will, not to speak too much because that's not our district, so I like to keep us overworked.
She don't want to be overworked.
No, that's not it.
She's already overworked, because I keep running into other people's districts.
We serve District 1, we love District 1.
We love the city.
We love dogs. Sorry, I got control of myself. Anyway, but no, seriously, I was in the last Department of Transportation meetings that we had with Public Works and Deputy Mayor Nicole George. District 3, Big Harm, and Street Parish Right was in that meeting, and I do remember they got two main points. It's on Mansfield Road that they have been working on for a really long time, and sidewalks being implemented on Rockford Lane. So I did hear that part of the conversation. So I do know that it has been communicated on behalf of the constituents that live there. Now, all the intricate details don't know. But that is it.
That's good, because I have walked that, walked across the line. I know that side, there's parts of that actually have steps on it.
Yes.
Like, it's not ADA.
Yes. Yes.
It needs,
Steve
it needs to be done, I'm glad you feel something about it.
Steve Kurowski with Public Works, he does all of the new sidewalk designs, installations, all that stuff. He's actually working on a new design. There's like a railroad track or something at some point there, they're splitting up.
Yeah.
They're taking care of it.
And I will say this, y'all, I am a council person that is pretty accessible. Right, you come to my office, if you want to talk to me, you say, I don't want to talk to the councilman. I talk to everybody, right? We set meetings, and also I have, you know, tea time with Tammy, where it's just one-on-one, 15 minutes. I believe you had it before. But I will be more out in this area. Also, we're coming out here for Christmas. I'm gonna do I'm gonna be giving away, you know, Christmas gifts to kids. So, I hope I don't show up with all these toys. I ain't got no kids.
Well, there's seniors that live over there, and we like that little kids.
Right. I don't know, maybe we can give our seniors a gift bag. Maybe that's what we'll do. But yeah, I'm accessible. And if you guys need anything, I will leave on any of our tables, any information, you all need to come and get it. If you need, if there's no more questions, we're gonna get out of here. I guess what y'all take your food, y'all can take them home with you if you want to, drink, represent, take the whole thing. Y'all can drink, you know, where, do any any of y'all do word infections and
Healthy Beginnings Connect Us offers resources, classes, and more. Visit us at 1141 South 2nd Street or www.blackbirthjustice.org.
Hey y'all, I'm Attica Scott, former Kentucky State Representative, and you're joining me today on State Live Streams.
We will continue to provide updates as we have more information.
And you're joining me today on State Live Streams.